All right, so let's have a look at pillar number 2, which is maximizing the market impact. Now, this is when you actually bring on board what is called a paid ad specialist for whatever business it may be. Could be home improvement, could be barbering, could be whatever it may be. This individual or this asset to the business allows you to not only get in front of the right demographic and the right audience on whatever platform it may be, Instagram, Facebook, which is what we focus specifically in, but what they're able to do is to really showcase exactly what you're able to do. So we spoke about in the earlier pillar about your ideal service and what you offer to the market, but this individual here is able to really share exactly what you do, how you do it, and why you do it to the market and the demographic that you ideally want to get in front of. Now, remember, if you look at billboards, or if you look at television ads, or if you look at newspaper ads, back in the days, what had happened was that they had actually what's called just completely just broadcasting, an advertisement in front of everyone. So it could be in front of, 1,000 people, could be in front of 10,000, could be in front of 1 million people. However, in front of those individuals, there is only going to be a small percentage of who would resonate with that message. So the goal here, and this is where a lot of businesses fail to understand the brilliance of social media, is that on Facebook and Instagram, I guess, or could be LinkedIn, could be Google, whatever, that there is a component called demographic targeting. Now, if you're able to identify who your ideal market is, say for example, they're females, they're mothers, and they're also between the ages of 30 and 45, like you can get that granular and specific on, again, having this market or having this advertisement directed solely to them. Now, as an example, let's just use the female demographic. What we've found with our clients is that a majority of them are actually females. They're stay-at-home mums, and they're really the ones who are able to make the decisions at home. So when it comes to bathroom renovations, most often than not, they're the ones who are making the call on it. So if you can get that information, or if you can get that ad in front of that individual, more often than not, you'll be able to resonate with them, number one, but number two, you'll be able to get them to move to the next step. Now, that could either be going to a lead form where they leave their details and you call them up after, or you have someone else in the team call up, or you can actually get them to a booking page. Now, that booking page could have your calendar schedule on it, and it could also give you the ability to ask a few further qualifying questions. Now, if you're able to ascertain that information and get that ready for either yourself or your team to follow up on, you've already been able to do so much better than those billboard ads and those newspaper ads and television ads. You're able to really speak to the individual who really wants this service. So your then goal is to be able to build rapport after you've been able to get on the phone with them and say, hey, it's Wes from company ABC, just seen you come through our ad. Really want to wish you a warm welcome. Here are some of the questions that you've gone through. Let's just quickly go through it and see if there's anything that we can help out with. So again, what this paid ad specialist does is actually gets that message in front of the right people to then get them over to wherever you want them to go. It could even be an e-commerce product. This is exactly why these paid ad specialists are crucial to what we're going to be speaking about, but also they also have a real tangible X amount of money that you spend, they will generate. Basically, all I'm saying is that they're very important to the business. They would be able to use the ad spend that you have per month and then generate a report which showcases for every dollar you spend, you get $3-4 back. Could be more, could be less, depending on volume and also quality of lead or whatever you're trying to optimize for. But this individual here is very special, which is why we brought it up as number 2. So let's quickly go through the key responsibilities. Now, what they do, number 1, strategic planning. How can we get this advert or how can we get this message across to the right people and really hit the right people on the right platforms? So let's say, for example, you're trying to get in front of people who are a lot more business orientated. Now, I'd always be bullish to have it on Facebook and Instagram, but realistically, they're more likely to be on LinkedIn. So if that's the case, then we put a lot more of the messaging, a lot more of the ad budget on that platform, whilst also having a ratio on the largest platform in the world, which is Facebook and Instagram. There is this notion where people think that because there's a lot more business owners on LinkedIn, that should be the strategy and that should be the directive. However, what we've found in our experience is that whilst it's all good and well to target them on that business platform, most often than not, these key individuals, these key decision makers, maybe at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, are scrolling through Facebook and Instagram, looking for something, perhaps doing some dumb stuff. But if you're able to pique their interest and get in front of them whilst they're not necessarily guard is down, but whilst they're a lot more relaxed, you could probably resonate with them a little bit more to then go, oh, that's quite interesting. They'll go through it. They'll either flag it to do it tomorrow. They'll either flag it for their assistant to have a look at and forward it across, or they most often will go, that's quite interesting. Next thing you know, that they've booked in a call. So again, whilst it's all good and well to logically see the natural path of where things should go, also there are other areas and other strategies which you can really get in front of that demographic. It just doesn't seem as obvious. So strategic planning, that is what that paid ad specialist does. We then move into the campaign creation and management. How does it look on that platform? What is the best optimization towards sharing that message and getting that message right? We then look at the performance analysis. So they'll monitor the campaigns on a daily basis using specific tools, whatever it may be. There's tools like Hyros. There's tools like that are built into High Level, as an example. There are many tools that you can analyze the information, but more importantly, it's not just analyzing it, but it's also conveying it to the business owner to make it easy for them to, at a high level or at a snapshot, understand where the marketing is, understanding the numbers, and then being able to showcase, if we go down this direction, these are the results that would most likely yield. So that's the benefits of the performance analysis. All right, let's have a look at the market research. Now, this here, I spoke about this earlier in the previous module. There is so much evolution happening on a daily basis when it comes to the online space. So you need someone abreast on what is happening real time in the industry. What are the trends and what are the competitive strategies that are working? So again, as an example, what these guys would do is that we'll go into what's called Facebook Ads Library. They'll have a look at what our top competitors are doing and have a look at the marketing message that they have. So full transparency on Facebook or Meta, you're able to see what ads are running by your by your competitors, and it's there for you to see. Now, one of the things that we look for is not only, number one, are they running ads, but number two, how long have they been running the ads for? So as an example, it's the 20th of February right now. Say, for example, one of our competitors have been running ads since the 20th of February, 2023. For the full 12 months, if that number one ad is still live and active, it to us showcases that something in this ad is working. So that individual of a paid ad specialist would go through it, they'd check and have a look and see exactly why it's working, what their theories and hypotheses are behind it, and then they'll apply that to us or the business. Now, by doing that, not only would you get insights on what's working, but you'll be able to get some quick wins, because if it's working and you can apply the right message using the flavor of the business that you have, again, quick wins, get that revenue in to then further reinvest in perhaps maybe longer term strategies. And then last but not least, there is the budget management. So if you give if you give the ads paid specialist $1,000 per month, $10,000 per month, or $100,000 per month, they will be able to not only utilize that budget effectively and efficiently, but they'll be able to maximize the return on investment based on their skill set. Now let's have a look at some of the skills that are required. They need to understand, again, the platforms, strong analytical skills for interpreting the data. They need to have like that creative aspect or creative edge behind them. Number one, to not only understand what actually is working out there in the market, but number two, being able to apply that to the business that you have. And then lastly, they need to understand the industry that you're a part of. And if they have background in customer psychology or any sales or marketing or advertising, that's obviously desirable. Now, what are the deliverables of a paid ad specialist? Let's have a look at the 3 points here. Number one, the targeted ads campaigns. Now, customer campaigns that resonate with the specific needs and interests, what I spoke about beforehand, they need to understand who we're targeting, where to target them, and what that looks like in terms of messaging. Number two, the performance reports. They need to be able to deliver on a either daily, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly schedule. They need to keep you abreast on what is going on with the money that you're spending. And lastly, there needs to be, all good and well to have the money being spent and having eyeballs on it, but what is the return on investment? What money are we making off the back of it? If it is something that we're looking at, whether it be lead generation, whether it be product purchases, or whether it be booked appointments, whatever they're optimizing, there needs to be a ROI tied on the back end of it. All right, so in this next section here, we're going to speak about how I spoke beforehand, how the ad looks. Not only how the ad looks, but also what the funnel looks once they've been able to go through the ad. Now, there's a lot of misconception out there. The ad that you have there isn't to sell. Well, I guess it depends on the actual the campaign objective, but most often than not, the ad there is just to get you to that next step. Now, it's all good and well to have like a really great looking ad. It's just, probably the best looking ad. But if the messaging and if the offer there isn't right, then all it is just a really good thing to look at. And then next. So that's where a lot of people miss out on how effective actual ads are. Now, what you'll see here in this ad here is actually it's a no BS, straight to the point ad. Now, if we scroll up here, analyzing this ad, what we see is price, product, and placement. We have the price here. So already, if anyone was looking for a bathroom renovation under 16,000, they're already discarded. They're already moving on because, we've pre-qualified them. We're getting rid of the shit kickers. We're getting rid of the people who penny pinch and just getting in front of the people who go, you know what? Yes, our budget is over this. We're going to continue reading on. We then look at what the offer is. Now, we say that we're going to complete the bathroom renovation within 4 weeks guaranteed. Now, yes, there's terms and conditions applied, but again, that's another form of going, oh, okay, not only is the price within my budget, but also they get it done within the time frame that I need it done. That's another tick. Then you'll also have a lot more of the information down the bottom here, which, sorry, I missed the top bit here up here. So lock in 2023 prices for bathroom renovations. So as we know, as inflation continues going up, as the materials and suppliers continue to increase their prices simply because of the demand, or maybe there is less of a supply, or could be a shortage. Now, one of the offers here for one of our clients was that they can lock in last year's prices for this year's inevitable price hike. So that there is that section here. We have other things down here as well, just to feed them in. But the goal here is to get them to the next step. It's not to go, you know what, I'm going to take out my credit card and spend $16,000 on a bathroom renovation. No, it's actually getting them to the next step. And that next step is the landing page. So after here, before I do that, as you can see, we also have imagery to support what we're talking about. So if your bathroom looks like this currently, but you want it to look like that, we're also speaking into the vision of what they want, what their end goal is and what that hype feels like. So if it's grudgy, looks sad and completely outdated, and you want something that's fresh, modern, and something that, every single day, as soon as you wake up, you go into, you feel inspired and love it. So that's the imagery that we're looking at doing. Very effective of before and afters. But once they've gone through that ad, the next step is actually going into a landing page. Now, what's worked effectively for us and our clients, and again, you'll see if you go through to our page, through ad, we go to a landing page. Now, that landing page could have multiple objectives there, but for most often than not, it's to book in a call with either myself, my sales team, or if it's one of our clients, either that managing director or their sales team. Now, as we can see here, the key goal here is to reiterate what the actual offer is and what the product and price guarantee is, but then also going, if this is what you want, go down to the bottom here and actually click on a date that works for you. Now, granted, this schedule isn't an open schedule for them to come into. We actually ask the clients, when are your availabilities? Now, most often than not, our clients are actually on site in the home renovation space, but most of them do say, hey, anywhere between 4 to 6 in the afternoon or on the weekends is when I'm available. So on this scheduler, that's all we have, their availability. So they're selecting a time that best suits them, whilst also best suiting you. Now, once they've been able to select that time, they'll get a number of questions. Now, these questions here further qualify and further prop up this potential lead and potential project further. So we get them to fill out their details. Now, granted, just remember they've come from an ad. The ad has spoken about the product, spoken about the offer, and has spoken about the messaging and what's possible. We've got in front of them. Now, the next thing here is to actually grab their details. Not only can you reuse their details down the track for further marketing, but if they've gotten to this step and actually passed over not only their full name, email address, phone number, but where they actually live, that there in itself is already, they've already gotten trust. They've already gotten the ability to go, you know what, these guys are the ones who I'm going to share my residential address to you. That there is further qualifying it. So rather than just getting a lead with the full name, email, and phone number, which you'll have to do a hell of a lot more work off the back end of it, this is where you get those quick wins. Being able to identify that individual online, move them over to the landing page, and then getting them to submit their details. Now down the bottom here, there's further questions that we ask. So as an example, what is your budget? Also, are you the main decision maker? What is your time frame? Are you looking to get this done within the next 2 months? And then lastly, have you had someone come out and quote? getting all that information ready for our clients really gives them the ability to be able to hit the ground running when speaking to them. And then secondly, being a lot more productive when it comes to, hey, rather than it just being like a cold sort of introduction, it's like, this is the information you've given us. This is what I've been able to use to then provide you with that quote. So it's really preparing our clients to have the best opportunity out on site to close that lead. Having said that though, we actually implement further systems in there. So while it's all good and well to get them to enter in their details, run through a couple of questions, we then immediately set the customer's experience and expectations. So once they've booked their appointment, straight away an SMS goes out to them confirming their details, thanking them for coming through, but then also sharing exactly what they've put in as the answers to their questions. We'll also provide the managing director's details. So not only does it give that name of theirs, but also gives them their phone number. So if they need to move some appointments around, or if the timing doesn't work, after they've actually put that in, they're able to have that information there and then. So again, this is literally right after the submission of that form on that landing page. Not only that, there is also a SMS that goes out to the client too. It says, hey, you just had a new booking. Here are the details. Here's the address. Here's the information that they've filled out. And here's their, obviously, name and number to get in touch with them. So that is that. Now let's have a quick look at the Facebook lead form. Now this is just simply quantity, volume, and just getting as many people who are sort of in that bracket to actually go out there and either build a database out or actually get in front of them immediately. So that's the benefit of using the Facebook lead form. Having said that though, there is also like what we did previously, which was to get more of the higher intent buying leads. But whatever the strategy it may be, whether it be a landing page with a scheduler on it, or whether it just be using Facebook lead forms just to grab a little bit of information and that's about it, there are so many ways of doing it. But what's the glue that holds, I guess, whatever strategy may be for you? It's that paid ad specialist. Now we can see where you can find them. I'm sure it's quite simple. You can go through it. So freelance marketing places, remote work providers, or it could even be within your network. You could even have someone who's already using a paid ad specialist that you may not necessarily get them, but you can actually get in contact where they were sourced. So it could be from freelance, it could be from Upworks, it could be from so as an example, we have a group of ad specialists that we work with, but then we also embed that for our clients. So let's just say company B is just jumped on board. They see the benefit of an ad specialist. We then go into our network. We hand select based on what they need, and then we provide that to them. Now again, just finalizing the benefits of that paid ad specialist. Now again, there's a reason why it's point number 2, because it's so important for you and your business to have one of these assets in the team, that they look over how you're presented, how the message is presented, but more importantly, how the return on investment you can get off the back of advertising in front of the right people. Now, with home improvement companies out there looking for one of these, really, if you're able to identify and have these paid specialists really cement your authority, trust and credibility in the area or region or city that you live in, you will then further be able to not only just get those quick wins, but completely build upon it. We have clients of ours who have built moats around their business and completely taken market share because of having one of these effective ad specialists do the work that is needed. Now we train and we skill them up to make sure that they set the standards that we expect from them and then implement them into our clients to ensure that what we do initially is done consistently and at obviously a cheaper price, to allow that business owner to further grow with that paid specialist. So getting this right can really be fruitful and beneficial to what we spoke about initially, which could be either being a cash cow for the business, where this business is continuously ticking over, you have the right team in place to fulfill the services, or if you're looking at selling the business, you have a higher valuation because your marketing and more importantly your paid ad specialist is in your control. It's in-house. So that there is pillar number 2. If I go back to the top, it is the benefits of actually maximizing the impact of a paid ad specialist.